Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. This is Orphanlast, aka Skylar Madison, and today I'm going to be working on this Noblefrugal Studio collaboration background where Noblefrugal will eventually go ahead and use this background in one of his OpenToon's animations. And hopefully, like what we've been discussing, is that he's going to be making a complex scene where a lot of different sorts of actions are going on all at once. Possibly the camera will be tracking somebody as they're walking down the street. Like a wagon might pass them by. You might see some kids playing jump rope, things like that. So a fairly complex scene is what he's planning on covering. And I'm really looking forward to the day when I finally freaking finish this, so that he can actually showcase this on his channel. It'll be awesome. I did give him my line work, so he might actually be working on it right now. I'm not really quite sure. But anyways, he's got this really interesting off-the-cuff sort of style of teaching OpenToons, and he's been blogging about OpenToons longer than I have. And so if you guys want to take a look at his channel, I find his teaching style entertaining and also informative. Feel free to take a look at the link in the video description below, and consider giving him a subscribe if you haven't already. He's a really good guy. He seems like a really genuine sort of character. Anyways, guys, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this video. I keep getting this criticism, and I feel like I keep talking about this, and it's starting to kind of get annoying for me, and I'm pretty sure it's starting to get annoying for other people. And I try to treat the criticism as politely as possible, but I'm going to try to address the criticism a little bit more head on right now. If this doesn't nail the coffin down, whatever the phrase is, if this doesn't address the topic well enough, and I keep getting the same criticism over and over again, even still, I'm just going to have to, inside of my channel trailer and everything like that, where I summarize my channel right there on the home screen of my channel, I'll just have to update that to include this. Okay, so this is what the criticism boils down to. You are not Draw with Jazza, and that's correct. I'm not Draw with Jazza. Okay, Jazza, like Josiah Brooks, has a different set of strengths and weaknesses than I have. In fact, his strengths and weaknesses are different than when he first started. Okay, when he first started on YouTube, he was already an established animator. Okay, I'm not an established animator. When I first started blogging on YouTube, I was a little bit overconfident. I said, hey, look, I can totally animate. Look, take a look at this. And I showed you guys a pretty good animation, I guess. Of course, it was a rough, animation and everything. But, for somebody's first attempt at animating, it's pretty good. And I plan on going back to that project and working on it eventually. But that's going to take some time. I'm focusing on the 51 animation challenges, which is me learning how to animate in general. That's what that series is. And not only that, it's not just me learning how to animate, it's me suggesting that you, as the subscriber, if you're new at animation, these are the sorts of things that you need to be focusing on in order to become a better animator. Okay, these are the sorts of things that professional animators are suggesting that you learn early on how to do in order to be taken seriously as an animator. So, like, when I'm talking about things that are not, like, software specific, when I'm just talking about anything that has to do with animation, and you could be using any sort of animation software or no animation software at all in order to do it, I'm just talking about what worked for me. Now, if some professional animator is giving you different advice, take their advice. But my channel is mainly focused on how to draw a curvilinear perspective, which is basically how to draw panoramic images, and how to use OpenToons. Okay, so I am not Draw with Jazza. I'm not, like, from the very get-go he was already teaching how to animate, because he was already an established animator. Now, you look at his early work, one of his weaknesses was illustration, in my opinion. you look at his current work, he can illustrate pretty dang well. In fact, it's come to the point where I kind of think he's starting to rival what I can do with illustration. But the thing is that he can also color his animations and his artwork really well. Coloring my work is something fairly foreign to me, because like anytime that I needed any sort of coloring tools and stuff like that for my artwork as a kid growing up, I'd always just get Crayola crayons, which is a good way to ruin your masterpieces. So I just stopped doing it. And so it's only until recently that I've started to kind of, okay, cool, I can actually color my stuff. And I mean, you're watching me kind of, texturizing this image right here with my brush. And in the next video, I'm going to be focusing on creating a light source and creating the shadows. Not necessarily shading, but I'll be creating the shadows in the next video. So that's basically it right there. Like, he and I have different strengths and weaknesses. Like, one of the videos that he had fairly recently, I'm not quite sure if it's in his Daily Jazza blog or if it was in his Draw with Jazza blog, but he made the statement that he feels like drawing backgrounds is a weakness for him. Now, I sort of kind of agree with him. When he does draw backgrounds, he makes sure that by the time that he's done with the image or the background or whatever it is for his animation or whatever, it looks good. He makes sure that it looks good by the time that he's done. But I understand, it does look like he needs a little bit more practice with that, that's all. I'm not the best at drawing backgrounds and drawing in perspective, but I don't feel as though it's a major weakness of mine. I don't feel like I need to refine it a whole hell of a lot. I feel like I feel confident whenever I need to draw a background these days. So we have different strengths and weaknesses. And with everything that I've said, like, some people may feel like I've just criticized Jazza, and that's so far from what I'm going for that I actually respect the heck out of Jazza. His channel has quality work. He does great work. I would love to meet the guy. We have all these common interests, and it's not just that, but we have the same sort of history. We may not know each other, but if I were to meet him, he would be the only person that has a similar experience to mine, which is being a Mormon and leaving the religion. Anyways, guys, that concludes it for this video. Please like, share, and subscribe.